So I was outside every day for 4 months, whether it was sunny, whether it was raining, whether it was snowing, whether it was extremely cold, like regardless of what the weather was. I remember there were times where I would go back home, like late in the night, like 1, 2 a.m., and I turn on the shower, and it feels like, you know, when your body's wet and then somebody carries a cane and they're like beating you. That is literally how you felt.
On my third pickup, I was very close to the customer's house in a sense, and then I tipped over on my bike. I fell, my AirPods cut, and my shoe cut. The bag I was holding caught as well. Luckily for me, the food didn't tumble over, so I just walked to the customer's address, dropped all the food.
Talk about perseverance.
My broken back.
Sometimes when I stand for long these days, I still feel the pain in my toe. I was in the cold a lot. And you know, any small thing can trigger you. Maybe if you miss a bus, you're crying. Like, it was just a very dark time for me. And I remember, like, I could not afford, like, what's it called? Like a good winter jacket. So I was cold a lot.
Because I didn't want to bother my parents like with money, because like I mentioned, I had like savings going to school, so I'm just like, I'm going to double down on Uber Eats and make the money I'm going to need to go to school again.
Wow!
So I
to pay
my fees myself.
How much were you trying to raise?
So my school fees was, I think it was $17,000 was what I was trying to make at the time.
Wow.
This is Young and Abroad.
Oh shit! Let's go. Hey loves, welcome back to another amazing episode of Young and Abroad. I am so excited for this one. If you're watching the video version, you can already see that we have a full house, okay? So if you're new here, this podcast basically, you know, shares immigration stories, shares the ebbs and flows of what it's like to be a young immigrant living in a foreign country. A lot of us moved without family. A lot of us moved without really knowing, you know, what was going to come next. And yeah, so this episode, we're going to be getting into it. We're going to be talking about our first jobs in Canada. Well, my guests are going to be telling us about their first jobs in Canada, how they got the jobs, what they did, because there are some very interesting jobs that even I have had to do in this country just to survive, just to make ends meet. So yeah, I guess we can start. And do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Okay, Godson, you can start off and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Godson. You call me AG Baby. I've been in Canada for 3 years and a half now, and it's been a good experience so far. I came here as a student and I did my master's, and then I'm working full time. Happy to be here.
But yeah, my name is Ini. I've been here for about, I want to say 5 years now. I also came as a student. I'm currently working right now in a tech company in HR. But yeah, I'm also happy to be here as well.
If you have been subscribed to my YouTube, you probably met Blessing. So yeah, but still, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Blessing. I came here for my master's as well. I've been here for 5 years, and I currently work a full-time role in consulting.
Okay, it's giving girl in finance. I'm looking for a girl in finance.
Please.
So yeah, let's get into it. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's get it. By the way, sorry guys, this is why you need to subscribe to this podcast and like, share, engage. We are literally sharing mics because we had like a technical difficulty. So yeah, we'll upgrade pretty soon, but you guys need to support us. Okay, so let's get started. My first question. So I actually want to know, like, why Canada specifically? Why not Jamaica or the US or Iceland?
No, Blessing, you can go first.
Let me take the floor. Why Canada? What's so good about?
I can't even lie. Like, I don't know that I had a dream outside of Nigeria, to be fair. Like, I've always, like, I think in that moment, Canada was such a big place for me. I knew I didn't want to go to the US, but I was like, oh, UK might be nice. But yeah, all in all, I just want to thank my parents. I just like to thank them because I feel like they put that zeal in me more than like my own wants. In that moment, I don't know. Like, it became a prayer point for me personally, but not because I genuinely like thought far ahead. Yeah, exactly.
I think for me, what's really made me want to leave Nigeria is because in the last year of going to school going to uni, I did an exchange program, summer exchange program in the US. And for me, that was like an eye opener. I was like, you mean I can make this much money from doing this little job? And then I'm just like, okay. I was like, definitely, I'm not gonna stay in Nigeria again. But like, I think at the time I weighed my options, and I think maybe I spoke to one or two people, and they were talking about how like, US is not very straightforward, like in terms of immigration. And then I was like, okay, why not Canada? And then I literally went online. I applied to one school, and I got into that school, and I was like, I literally closed my laptop, and I was like, yep, that's it. I was like, yep, that's it. I'm coming to Canada. Like, I didn't do any research or anything. I just applied to that one school, came here, and that's how I ended up coming to Canada.
Just follow up question: did you know anyone here before you moved?
Did I know? No, I didn't know anyone here.
For me, I didn't have a specific choice. I applied to schools in Ireland, in UK, in the United States, and in Canada. I did the United States last, and I did Canada third. And I did United States only because Canada had denied me my study permit after waiting for like 9-10 months.
Oh my God.
My dad was pissed off, like.
So you got the admission from the school?
I got the admission. I'd started school online. I had to email my lecturers that I'm so sorry, I have to drop off. And they were like, hope you haven't paid school fees yet. That's when okay. Luckily for me, I hadn't paid just yet.
Oh, thank God.
Anyway, my dad was like, to hell with Canada, you're going to go to US.
Oh, I can't
My mom was like,
imagine.
no, Canada. She has to tell her friends her son is in Canada. So I had to stick with Canada. And like after 3 months, I got my study permit. But I had restarted school a second time now. This time, even paid school fees, hoping that my study permit would come out. God. But in terms of people I knew here, obviously knew.
Okay, but then the second time worked out.
Yeah, the second time it worked out. Okay. My study permit came out like 1 month after studying, so for the second time. But I had some friends here who kind of inspired me to want to come here, like Ian.
What of me? I was here. And I helped you.
Did you mention Blessing?
Oh, Blessing was here, but Blessing was in a different city. But he was in my city here, so it was easier to connect to him.
There's no one, route for people. Some were here to the glory of God. Okay, cool. Next question is: what were you doing before you moved? Were you working a job? Bless you, you're already shaking your head. You can't stand.
I was suffering. Obviously dramatic, but I was working in a sales role as an account manager. Honestly, when I saw the advertisement, I was like, account manager, that sounds, very bougie. And then I go there and it's sales, and I literally have to go to these companies every day.
You told me.
And beg them to travel with us because it was a travel company. And then literally, like, as you come into the office, drop your bag, enter the car. You're going out, you're on the road. And if you live in Lagos, VI equally, there's no way I don't know, because I literally used to go to companies like the entire time.
Did you have to drive?
I didn't have to drive, but I was in traffic the entire time. Basically, most of it was traffic. So if I'm going out, I'm going to meet only 5 people. And the worst part of it all is, people that have power, they feel like they are the big ones and you're begging them. So if they buy ticket from you eventually, like, you're literally going to have to beg them to pay. So sometimes I'm going there to go and do debt recovery, begging them to pay money. It was a hell. I worked there for like 5 months, and honestly, not the best time.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, honestly, anything sales, anything they say, go and find clients, go and find customer. No, I'm not there. I can imagine. Can you tell us?
Oh my God, why are you laughing?
What did you do before you moved?
That's so funny. It's
the regional manager.
It's making an office reference. Funny, but like,
please, no inside jokes here. We're friends. We're all friends, to be honest.
And we went to school together. Before coming here, I was the assistant to the managing director.
Wow, he wasn't joking. Not us laughing.
Hence Godson's joke of like assistant to the regional manager or whatnot from the office.
Huge.
But
what type of company, sir?
It was a construction company in Lekki. It was situated in Lekki, yes. But like it was a lot of work. Like the company really, I would say, used me, but like I was able to learn a lot of things too there, because like I was doing so many different things while I was there.
Beyond the job description.
I mean, to be honest, it was more so like an NYSC job, but like they got me to do like different things. So like some days I'll be on site, other days I'll be at the office. Yeah, it was a lot. Sometimes I had to like use my car delivering like building materials or something from point A to like the site and stuff like that. But like, yeah, it was a lot. I'm grateful for like my time being there. I felt like my manager was really, it was a very special person. Like, I think
in a good way, or?
like, in a very good.
Okay,
It was
okay.
like,
I have to clarify.
no, it was a very great person. Like he was very like very eloquent. I like the way he used to talk to people. Like he didn't fear anyone. Like for you to be able to strive, or not to strive, to like to do well in Lagos in general, like you have to be outspoken.
Yeah.
You have to know your stuff, especially for like the real estate business. And I felt like I saw those things. He embodied all those things very well. And I really looked up to him, and I was like this guy is amazing. And he was a very young guy too. It was like, I think at the time it was like 29 or something like that. But like, so it was very motivating for me, like working with this young fellow. Really enjoyed my experience there. But like sometimes I felt like it was a lot. But like that's how you learn. That's how you grow.
Thank you for sharing.
I worked in a technology company. It was one of the big ones. So one of the startup ones that were quite big and popular at the time. I worked as a business analyst did it for like 2.5 years. Ideally, I should have done it for 1 year, but Canada wouldn't grant me my study permit. So I was stuck there longer than I wanted, but I thank God.
Okay, so next question that I have for you is, what was your first job in Canada, and how long did it take you to get your first job?
So my first job in Canada was a self-employed job. It was Uber Eats, and my friend here, he was the one who motivated. He was like, "Stop applying to Walmart. Just go do it. Let's go get a bike for you and get a bag."
Walmart denied me too.
Yeah.
Walmart
denied me. Domino's Pizza. Fun fact: I haven't bought Domino's Pizza since. Domino's Pizza denied me. McDonald's, all of. But that was my first self-employed job. After a while, a grocery store eventually called me.
Okay, so what was the experience like?
It was a grocery store that was very fancy. It was very bougie. It was very cool and all of that. So when I got employed, I had 2 positions. So the first one was to work as a shopper in the daytime, or to work as a fruit cutter in the night shift.
Fruit cutter?
Yeah. So you know how you can go to grocery stores and you see like platters already prepped, like different fruits in one platter. So somebody had to cut them. I thought they used like tools and equipment for that, but apparently people cut them manually. Yeah. I had to pick one or the other one. So I picked the shopping one primarily because it was a day job. So it was a nice experience. The major drawback I had around it was the long-standing hours. You weren't really allowed to sit down. You get a break every 4 hours. So if you work 4 hours, you get 30 minutes break. If you work 4 hours, you get 15 minutes break. If you work 8 hours, you get 30 minutes break. So that's how it was. You had to stand for long. You weren't really allowed to use your phone. But I think the cap of everything for me was that they made us wear their shirts. So I wasn't very proud of it. I was happy with the job, but after a while, I wasn't very proud of the job. So I like to wear my own outfits. So I could camouflage as a customer. You don't really know that I'm working there. But they made us wear their own clothes. So you have the Loveless sign, and at the back, there were some things around about Loveless as well. So it was that. And then the second thing was that they made us wear hairnets.
Even as a
shopper, for very weird reason. I mean, it camouflages with your head, but it was very weird. Apparently, they didn't want your hair to drop and stuff around. So that's what the experience was like. Another difficult thing was extremely far away from home. So I used to leave like an hour, 10 minutes from work, bus and 2 trains to get to work.
A bus and 2
trains. And
the way he's saying it, that means of transportation, it is not easy. Especially in like the winter. Did you do this? Do you have to do this during the winter?
No, luckily for me, this was spring, summertime. I remember the first day of work, and my manager asked me, where are you coming from? I was like, I'm coming from Scarborough. The name of the place was Scarborough out of Midtown. I was like, wow, you couldn't find any Loveless in Scarborough. What are you doing here? But yeah, I also had a great manager. I met some cool people there. For a moment, saw myself staying there for a long time and getting to like managerial position. So yeah, it was very cool stuff, but very, very stressful because The other sad part I forgot to mention was that my section of the store was a cold department. So sometimes you have to go into the freezer to bring stuff out. It's worse when you have to go into the freezer to sort first before you bring them out, because you'll be cold. You can be very cold. You run out for a minute, get some warm, and then you go back and get stuff out. Yeah. Another part I was very proud of was that at the early days when I wasn't very familiar with the store, customers would come to you and they'll say, "Oh, do you know where I can find eggs?" I'm like, "I don't know that," but you have to give them some directions. They'll say, "Oh, just go over there, the last row." And it's probably most likely the wrong place. Because like, I will say I don't know. So you have to give them some sort of. I'm not very proud of that. You should cut this out. But the store is not that big. Like eventually you find somebody else who can help you. I'm not just the one to help you at that time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Blessing, you look like you want to tell us about your experience.
So my first job was H&M, and it took me like, I want to say 1 month. So between when I arrived Canada and when I actually got the job, 1 month.
Just a month to find that job.
Honestly, I think that was the first job I applied for. Like I literally I was so shocked because they're like,
how long did it take you to get your
So the night, believe it or not, the night I arrived in Canada, I started applying for jobs. I was in quarantine at the time, and it took me like 2 months thereabouts.
Oh wait, that's true. You didn't talk about doing Uber Eats though.
I did Uber Eats before Loveless, during Loveless, and after Loveless.
Are you serious?
I did it before Loveless because I didn't have a job yet. I needed to get money, like rent was coming up. So I had to just hit the streets. You could say that. So one Saturday, I and Nini, we went out, we got a bike. Luckily for me, he had a second bag. We hit the street. I remember my first Uber Eats trip.
Each of you had a bike, right?
We both had.
Oh, was he backing?
No, we had our individual bikes, and we got,
Okay.
yeah. My first pickup was at McDonald's. I delivered to one lovely guy who was outside. My second pickup, I delivered to someone else, and on my third pickup, I was very close to the customer's house in a sense, and then I tipped over on my bike. I fell, my AirPods cut, and my shoe cut. The bag I was holding caught as well. Luckily for me, the food didn't tumble over, so I just walked to the customer's address, dropped out the food.
Talk about perseverance.
My broken bag. So I was holding one bag like this, and I was pushing my bike the other way, and I dropped it off, and then I had to go home. I didn't have a bag anymore. My shoe was now bad, and I'd only made $19 at the time, so it wasn't a great start yet. But I was so happy to make $19. I remember I texted and I was like, I have to go home. This was what happened and everything.
Anyway, you didn't cry. It's not I've been crying. I'm like, on the floor with my bag. Everything just stay there on the floor.
But yeah, so that happened. But on my way back, while on the train, we go over ground, and then I got a tip from the lady who I bought from, who I delivered to. She tipped me $7. I can never forget. So my total in the day had now risen up to 26 point something that I made. I was so excited.
I can imagine.
And then I go home, I was so happy. And the next day I fixed my bag so I could go back to work. But after doing Uber Eats for a couple of weeks, I got a Loveless job. But one thing that's very common with this kind of stuff is that when you start, you don't get full 20 hours because you're only allowed to work 20 hours. Usually start with like maybe 8 hours a week. So
as a student.
As an international student. So I had to make up for the remaining hours so I could get enough money to pay rent and live. So I had to go back to Uber Eats. When I'm not working Loveless, I'll do Uber Eats.
How was your schedule with school? Because you had to go for classes,
yeah.
Right?
So luckily for me, my school wasn't very stressful. I read, my master's was in project management, so it was pretty easy for me. I could wing it. I was doing like 3 courses per semester. So I could really wing. The highest I ever did was 4. But
just give us like a typical day where you had to do Loveless, school, and Uber Eats.
Sure. So Uber Eats I usually did Uber Eats in the weekends or in the evenings. I never did Uber Eats in the mornings. The classes were mostly online at this time. I could join it from the comfort of my house. Yeah. Nice. So I'll do classes at home, then maybe go for a Loveless shift, stuff like that, and then I'll do Uber Eats in the evening. So that was how I combined it. It wasn't too hectic.
I feel like you're also a hard worker, so because it sounds like a lot still.
Yeah, it does.
So I used to have 7 a.m. shifts. So you gotta be up by 5 a.m. in the house at
7 a.m. shifts in Loveless.
In Loveless, yeah. So you have to be up at 5, so you can leave your house at 6. So you can get to Loveless at 7.
Are you serious?
And then you work.
Hold on.
Blessing.
Hi. So tell us, what was your first job? What was I asking? I've forgotten. What was your first job and how did you get it? How long did it take you to get it? What was the experience like?
Yeah, so my first job was at H&M. Honestly, I think it was the first job I applied to because someone said in passing, like maybe a friend or something was like, "Oh, you should apply to the big stores like H&M." I'm like, "Oh, I've never thought of that." So, and I'm a fashion girly. How does how does that is to believe? But I like fashion, so when
Easy hard to believe, girl. You look good.
thank you very much. But yeah, so when I applied, I got in, and then within 1 month, I was already working. Gotten said this program was easy, mine wasn't. And honestly, like in hindsight, I don't think I should have been working that much at first because I did economics for context, and core economics is difficult, like very difficult. And we had like some classes where they are giving you papers to read every week and you have to answer questions on them for points. And then aside like the presentations, it was a lot.
Did you do all those econometrics?
Econometrics, I did macro. Stop. Basically SS2. Like literally, that's basically the easiest part. But I saw maths I've never seen in my life, but I digress. So H&M, 1 month, and then I saw that it was good. Then it seemed like they had cliques, like there were a lot of students at the store and all of them had inside jokes. So I was just trying to, I guess, melt in just to make sure that like I have friends and stuff like that. Eventually those people left, but I worked there for 2 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did you make any friends?
I did. Yeah, I became a sales coach.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I became a sales coach. And then I guess I knew the inner working. So someone come and tell me, "Oh, how do you do this at cash?" And it was me they were always looking at. I'm like, okay, maybe I know things. And I don't think it was out of like, oh, we are promoting you. Not like my salary increase or anything. It was just a thing where like they knew that I was longest staff basically. And
but then I'm guessing you probably didn't have to like fold clothes anymore.
Oh, I did. I did everything.
It was just like more like supervising and
I think even the store manager still folds clothes. It's just they have more admin stuff to do at the back, like counting money and stuff like that. But I did like there was a lot of folding clothes, attending to customers. Customers will be like, "Oh, what do you think I should wear?" And that's the only time I'll feel good about the job because I'm trying to advise you on what to pair together. So that was good. Also, like the employee discount was amazing, and because we got 25% off for H&M clothes. I feel like everything in my wardrobe is H&M basically. Anyways, and then. The standing, bro. I was going to go to this. The suffering. Let's go to the suffering. So let's go to the suffering. So I used to live in Ottawa for context. We're currently in Toronto, and my house was like an hour away from the store. And I started the job in September, so I was going into winter, so progressively worse, right? Like it was a thing where, and now the Toronto transportation system is really good, so you don't expect to be outside for long. In Ottawa, like if you are late for a bus, you missed it for 1 hour 30 minutes depending on the day. And so like I would wake up, sometimes I would have like truck shifts. So truck shift is when like the new clothes come in and then we have to put them in hangers or fold them or whatever, and that starts by 7 a.m. This was before the pandemic. And then I'll wake up by 5:30 and get to the store and then stand for, maybe if it's an 8-hour shift, I have to stand for that long.
Oh my god.
And come back home sometimes if I'm doing closing shifts. So closing shifts end at I think 10, so I'm getting home by 11 p.m 12 a.m sometimes based on how bad that day is. So I was in the cold a lot. And any small thing can trigger you, right? So if you misplace your transportation card, like press to for here, like you're already breaking down, or maybe if you miss a bus you're crying. Like it was just a very dark time for me. And I remember like I could not afford like what's it called, like a good winter jacket, so I got my winter jacket from H&M. So I was cold a lot.
25% off.
That's okay.
25% off.
Because I got a jacket. So I got mine from Susie Share, and it was honestly mostly just a fashionable jacket. But I was like, this money that I spent, I cannot buy another one. So I will use this jacket till it fades.
Honestly, like it would have been good if the jacket was beautiful. The jacket wasn't. It was a very big. Honestly, it was a very big A-line jacket, if you know what I mean. And it was very like I'm hiding I look like a homeless person. Honestly, I feel like. Obviously now it makes me appreciate the behind, but at that time, like I didn't look at it as suffering. It just looked like, oh, I need to do this to get to where I'm going. So I don't think in that time I was a sad person. I'm always happy, but now looking back on it, I'm like, wow, I used to suffer.
Going through it. Imagine. But like, how was the work for you?
Oh, so it depends on the day. So weekends I found were very busy. So there's something we called like running. So running is like if you go to a store, you like something for a moment and then you go to another part of the store and you put it down there. We have to pick it out and find where it's meant to be. And if you know H&M, especially the one in Ottawa, like it has 2 floors and 4 different sections. So you can imagine that you can be running, like if people have done that the entire day, you are running the entire time and looking for where specific items are. And I think that was the worst part. Cleaning was easier because you're just folding stuff or hanging stuff, but running and looking for stuff, you are standing the entire time.
I can't imagine what it would have been like during like maybe Black Friday sales.
Bruh. Yeah, sometimes you hide stuff. Like if you looked up and down the store, you don't find it, you're going to hide it somewhere that it blends in. Maybe it's a black sweater, you're hiding with other black sweaters and stuff like that because mind you, we had to finish running every single day. So imagine the store is closed, everybody has gone home, the mall is empty. We now have a whole like 2 or 3 stacks of running to do. Everybody has finished all those runnings before we go home. So we are going home like 1 hour after the store closes.
And you have to do it at the end. Like you can't do it during your shift.
You can do it during the shift, but like something calls for you. So maybe like the cash register, like line is getting long, or you need to clean or stuff like that. So it was like continuous stuff every single time.
That's a lot. You guys have done so amazing. And I really hope that this helps people like back home just have a picture of what life is really like here, because I mean you guys see the cute pictures that we post on Instagram and all of that and how the sky is blue, but yeah, people are actually grinding, people are working hard in this country, like you've heard, right?
I almost kind of blacked out those memories from my this thing, but I know that during holiday season, so think Christmas, think Black Friday, think the day Boxing Day, the store is full, like literally you can't even clean because you finish folding a table like 6 times, it's still dirty. Like people are just dumping stuff and like
do you ever give people like side eye?
Bro, always. Like I see you going into section I just cleaned and you are tumbling it and I hate it so much. But it's at the same time there was also the cash part. So at this point, mind you, I mean if you're Nigerian listening to this, the code switching was on because the code switching obviously you're not going to say, oh, do you want a bag? Do you need a bag? Like, and I was talking, like you can talk for like 3 hours and the line won't stop. So if you're like, hi, how are you? Do you need a bag? Like literally like a robot. And it's like, then you see people with piles of clothes. I feel like there was one couple that came one time and they had like clothes they wanted to go and sell back home. They looked.
Wait, so this is at checkout?
Yeah, at checkout. Yeah. So the line is long. So you're trying to avoid customers that have so many things. And like there are people that have like children's clothes. Those were the worst to cash out, by the way.
Really? What?
Yeah. Because they used to come in like little packs and you have to remove the hangers.
That's true.
It was very like stressful. Busy times were not fun at all. Especially if you are closing. You could not call out. Exactly. You could not.
Oh my god. For context, busy season is a thing in consulting. Like it's another type of crazy work.
Yeah.
But yeah, not this. Okay, that's true. So she's in consulting, so she can tell us like this busy season you just described and the consulting busy season. Which one is worse?
Definitely the retail one.
The retail one.
Definitely the retail one. As bad as busy season, I feel like because it's one thing for you to have like a busy time, but you're able to just go to bed after or go home or whatever. This one, your body is paining you the next day and you still have to go into work. Not like you don't have to, but your body's not paining you as much. I had like Abuniki on standby. As I'm going home, my legs are swollen, I'm cold, I can't even take a shower, like horrible time. Well, I mean,
I'm so sorry because my friend was telling me that literally the next morning after her shifts at the clothing store, she would have to roll off her bed. Like she could not. No, you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And you stand up. She had to roll off the bed to come down.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes when I stand for long these days, I still get like aching. Like if I stand for more than 1 hour, I can still feel the pain in my toes. I don't feel like it tells. If you worked in retail for more than 1 year, it definitely tells on your body.
Not easy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. They need to review their hours for standing. It should be like maybe 2 hours. I don't know. What do you think?
My question is that there are like older people who do these jobs also. So like how do they do this?
Older people, right?
Like in their 60s, like
60s.
Yeah.
Doing
60s.
the same thing as us.
So like how are they managing that also? So
I feel like everybody's suffering in silence because nobody ever talks about the leg pain at work. I've never met anybody that said anything. It's when you get home that you do your massaging or whatever.
My God. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, Mr. Amy.
I guess it's my turn.
Over to you, yes.
And I think maybe I'll take off my glasses for this. It's about to get serious. So I got here. When I got here, I didn't know anyone here. Gustin wasn't here at the time. I didn't really have much friends at the time when I got here. I got here like 2019, just before COVID. I came December 2019. And finding a job was difficult. Like everybody had talked about how for some like blessing, it was easy for her to get a job after applying for 1 month. That wasn't my story. Like I applied to Walmart. There was a Walmart close to me in Scarborough. They didn't take me. I applied to a bunch of places, but like wasn't really forthcoming. I spoke to my friends in my course. Like all of us were all like in the same boat. So like we were all trying to find jobs. I think at the time it was very popular for people to get like restaurant gigs. So like you go work in a restaurant and you like as cash. So like they pay you cash, like it was a cash job, and then like you had like very little money at the time. But for me at the time, it looked like a lot of money because like you work so many hours, you only get like paid, I don't know, maybe like $70 or something like that for the amount of hours you work. But like even at that, I was still interested in. I couldn't really find
just anything.
Anything to because like coming here, my mom had told me that like you have come to Canada. Me, I've done my part though. Don't message me. Figure it out. Go ahead, figure it out. You are here. I don't know, make it work and all of that. So I was like really determined in finding something to be able to sustain myself while I was here. So
while still in school,
I need
to just re-emphasize that everyone sharing their story here, like every work experience you are hearing is during school, doing their masters, doing their degree. So continue.
Great point. But so I remember there was a time when I think I was doing a group project with some of my friends at school, and we're talking about how difficult it was to get a job. And then one of my friends at the time was like, "Oh, like you should go downtown and do Uber Eats." It was an Indian guy. It's like, you should go downtown and do Uber. I was like, what is Uber Eats? What's that? It's like, talking about how like he knew a friend that used to go downtown do Uber Eats and he was making like good money. It was like, okay, maybe I could explore this. So I didn't have a bicycle, so at the time I would just go downtown and I'd walk. So
Wait.
I'd go downtown and I just walk around and I downloaded the app. And you could set so that there are different settings on the app. So like you could decide to like obviously use a car, you could walk, you could also use a bicycle. So like
you could walk to do Uber Eats.
You could walk. I don't know if it's still. It's been a while since I did it, but I think it should still be there. So you could walk around. God. So I came to I came all the way down south. I think I was at somewhere like King and Church or something. So that's where I came, and I turned on the application and it took a while. Maybe it took like 20 or so minutes, but then I got like a couple orders, like 2 orders or so. But like it took a while because you have to. So once you get the order, you take it from that restaurant. You walk all the way to the building, and then you have to walk back to the restaurant area to wait for another order and everything. I think maybe I was there at the time for like maybe like 3 hours or something like that. But maybe I had like two deliveries or so.
Oh my God!
I think maybe I made like I don't know, maybe like $13 or something.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's when you're saying it so calmly.
I mean, it's been a while now, but like, yeah. So yeah, so immediately I remember that day when I went out to do it for the first time. I called my friend. I was like, oh, like this was my experience. I came downtown and I was only able to do like 2 or 3 orders, and this is how much I made. And he's like, oh, I see. He's really sorry, bro. But
It's like the boss money, like back.
Bro,
it's just like the boss money you
yeah,
back.
yeah. So just like. So he's like, oh, I should go get a bicycle. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, if I had a bicycle, like, I would be able to earn more. I was like, okay, all right. So I went back home, and the place where I was renting, I noticed that there was a bicycle outside, and it was just there. Nobody was using it. So I spoke to my landlord. I was like, oh, like, hey, I saw this bicycle outside. Is it cool if I use it? And he's like, yeah, sure. Like, it belongs to an old tenant. Like, I go ahead and use it. It's like, oh, like, this is amazing. Like, I just had the bicycle for free. I was like, sure. So I know, right? So I was like, yeah, thank God. I have this tool to be able to use to make more money. So I took it, and it was amazing. I used it. I remember the first day I did this. I think I went from like 7 p.m. till like 1 a.m. or something. So like till when
like cycling and doing orders.
So yeah, so like because I was living in Scarborough, so it was like a 1 hour train ride from my house to downtown, and then it was going to be. my office, which is downtown, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, so, I'm guessing you had to come all the way from Scarborough
to downtown.
This is where you get a lot of orders.
Yes,
right?
yes, because like it's like close, like it's what's the word I'm looking for? Like you're able to hop around like more quicker, like in downtown, because like it's not like far apart between like. It's clustered. That's what I'm looking for. Clustered. As against doing it, as against doing it in Scarborough, maybe you pick up one order from a restaurant and you have to go really far, and then before you get another restaurant again, downtown, like
high rises with different apartments.
Yeah, and a lot more restaurants too, also. So like it's a lot more viable to come and do this downtown. So like I got the bicycle, and I came and I did the first time for like 7 to like 1 a.m. So like when literally like
your legs not pinning you from cycling.
I was getting to that. So like literally the first day I remember when I finished, I go back home. I took a shower and I got on my bed, and my laps were like vibrating. It was like, oh my god, what's going on? My laps were vibrating. But like after a while, I did get used to it. So like for me, I think at the time I kind of liked it because it got fun. It was like interesting. It was fun because like I was new in the country. I haven't been to I didn't know anywhere around. So like this was my way of exploring the city. So like I was able to like know like all the nooks and crannies of like everywhere downtown, to be honest. Like I feel like I know like almost every restaurant around downtown. Cause I remember I was talking to you about how like I was in, like, I think I've been in your area before, and I talked about the restaurants that like if you go to that particular restaurant. So that's like comes with, I guess, with experience with doing this for a while. So like I literally checked on my phone. I think I saw that I had done like in total like about like 5,000. Like I stopped. It's been a while, but I did like about 5,000
orders,
5,630 or so orders I did at the time.
I have to give you like a badge or like a plaque or something. You did all of that with a bike.
Yeah, with a bike. So like I remember I was doing it, and for me, the reason why I also like doubled down on doing Uber Eats, because like for me I was in school, and my school was like actual school, only like Godson, which I don't know what kind of school he was in, because he only had like 3 courses, but like for me I had like 9 courses I was doing. So like to be able to manage going to school and then going to, I didn't know how people who were doing it, but like for me I wasn't able to, I couldn't. So like I wanted to have that freedom, that flexibility to go out whenever I needed to go out, and then if I needed to study for school, I was able to do that. So like for me, Uber was like the best possible thing that was available.
Flexibility.
Yeah. So whenever like in hindsight, I was like, oh, like sure, like McDonald's or Walmart like didn't take it. Like sure, that's fine, that's okay. I'm even happy that they did. I was happy at the time that they didn't do so. So like I don't need your money. Get out. I think one of the significant moments that I had like coming here was, like I mentioned, I didn't do much research before coming here. So I didn't know that I would have to, like, for you to stay longer here, you probably would need to do a second program, because I didn't do a master's program. I did a diploma program, and it was a 1-year program. So because of that, I didn't do research before coming. So if you do like a 1-year program, you get a 1-year work permit. So after talking to people, I got advice I needed to do a second program because I didn't have enough points to like do. I didn't want to risk it. just doing one program and then applying for the PR. Yeah, because like you have
Then
to.
you could have don't use the 1 year work permit to build your
Canadian experience.
yes.
Yeah,
and
but
then
like
risk-
it's very risky
It's risky.
getting a job because like how many people like
Fair
I know people who are like takes them like a year to get a job and
Fair enough.
So I was like I didn't want to risk it. I want 3 years, so I decided to. And my parents didn't know this at the time because like I also had siblings who were going back to school, who were still going to school. So I was like, you know what? I've tried this Uber Eats thing for a while. It's been going well. It's been good. And you know what? I'm like, I'm gonna, I guess I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna do it myself. I was like, okay, you know what? I had like a manual bicycle that my landlord gives to me. I was like, I'm gonna double down.
When you say you're going to do it yourself,
I mean like, because I didn't want to bother my parents like with money. Because like I mentioned, I have like siblings going to school, so I'm just like, I'm gonna double down on Uber Eats and make the money I'm going to need to go to school again.
wow.
So I
Like to pay your
pay my fees myself.
your international
Student
fees
fees. Yes,
in
yes,
Canada.
yes. I paid in my
Sorry.
yes. You know which one has it? Not Morocco from Uber Eats. Yes. So what?
Wait, sorry.
Yes.
I need to swallow. Like, I just
Yeah.
like I need a moment.
Yes,
This thing,
yes,
like you
yes.
drop.
I know.
Wow.
And then when I made a decision, and I think this was like my second winter or so, because like I came in December of 2019, but like this was going to be my second winter.
Yeah.
And I decided to do this, like knowing what was coming. Like I was going to do this like during the winter period. So like I took like a 4-month break before the start of my new program because I wanted to earn money because they allowed me to do that at the time. I don't know if they still allow it right now, but like at the time it was allowed where you could take a break before you transition into another program. So I did that.
Okay.
And I decided to buy an e-bike so it can be easier for me to zip around and get more orders quickly.
Yeah.
So I didn't have enough money to buy an e-bike, so I had to borrow money from my friend. And I was like, "Oh, can you borrow me this morning?" He was a student as well, but he was able to borrow me some money. And yeah, I bought the bike, and I was able to do this during winter. And winter was actually winter was wintering. It was a struggle. So I was outside every day for 4 months, whether it was sunny, whether it was raining, whether it was snowing, whether it was extremely cold, like regardless of what the weather was, I was outside. Like
Wow.
I was outside and I had to, because like I was living in Scarborough. Like once you come downtown, you cannot come say, oh, like the weather is bad, like maybe I should go back home.
back.
You can't, because like you get money wasted. So you just have to find a way to make it work. Like I remember literally like there were times where it was so cold. It was
Because when you're on a bike, right?
yeah.
It's cold. I've been
It's cold.
able to ask
colder.
because the wind is literally like slapping your
Yes,
face.
yes.
Even when you're already walking
Yes.
in the winter.
Yes.
So many times, like I would be walking back maybe from the office late, and I would just be like, God, who even
Yes.
sent me to come to this place?
And
So I can't imagine being on a bike and still the wind is maybe slapping me times 5 because
yeah.
it's going to be way worse.
yeah, that's true.
Oh my God.
And let me bust your bubble also. So at the time when I was doing this was during COVID period. So a good thing and a bad thing also, in the sense that because it was COVID, everyone was staying inside, which means everyone was ordering food, which was good on my end. So like you wouldn't see, and I think at the time I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, I'm risking my life. Because everybody is inside, everyone's afraid of the virus, but me, I'm outside. I'm like, to hell, what virus? Like, man, I want to make money. I need to eat. I need to make money to pay my school fees. So I went, everywhere was empty. I would go outside still and like take the orders and everything. I was like risking my life, I guess, in some sorts to provide like this service for like other people and stuff like that.
How much were you trying to raise?
So my school fees was, I think it was $17,000 was what I was trying to make at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very, very astronomical. But yeah.
What's an estimate of how much you making?
If I remember correctly. So I remember at the time because it was very good. I think it was easy at the time. And I and Gustin, we talk about this the good old days because like now because like sometimes I talk to some people who come, maybe they come to our building, they deliver food to people. And I was like, oh, like how is Uber Eats? And they're like, oh, like it's not good and everything. They only have like one trip in like 3 hours or something. Like it's very slow. But before, like during COVID, everybody was like you're always on the move. You don't have to wait like 2 seconds and then you just click and you get an order. But like in terms of answering your question, I think on a bad day, like on a normal day, maybe it's not too this thing. You could easily make like $20 an hour or something on a bad day.
And that's like how many
On
hours?
a bad day, $20 an hour. How many hours? I work from like 7 till. I used to work from like 7 till like 1 a.m.
With 7 p.m.
7 p.m. till like 1 a.m. But like on a bad day, you make like 20 an hour. But I think the highest I made was about, I think I've made like up to 40 or something, or even 45 or yeah, like 45 an hour. So it was really, really good. And people used to tip a lot. Not everybody actually, but like, in terms of, I remember because like Gus was talking about, where I used to get tips and stuff. But like, I remember whenever I used to get tips, orders from like Nigerians, sometimes so I used to be very hesitant to take them because like generally like Nigerians, it's not in our culture, I guess, like to tip people, because like I remember I even like with Godson at the time, I was trying to get him to, maybe he was trying to order food. I would like we usually encourage him to like tip, like even if he didn't want to do so, because like for me, I think I've seen like the hustle and everything that people who deliver food go through, and try to encourage people. Like at the time, like when I was doing this, I was like, I wouldn't like want to pick an order from like from Nigeria. Once I see the name,
so you can pass, like you can deny.
You can reject the order.
And like what's in you did Uber Eats, like did you have that same experience with
Yeah, it was the
Nigeria?
same experience. I can't remember any Nigerian tipping me.
Nigeria.
Yeah, hardly. And that's where like knowing our culture.
What's a good tip to give someone?
As a driver, I would say anywhere between like $7 to $10 means that you're generous.
Okay.
If you're, some people are extremely generous, $20. I've got $20 one time. I've had people getting like $30, $40.
30. Wow.
Yeah.
They're probably doing like a percentage of the.
Yeah, but you can also edit those tips and put your own fees.
Yes.
Or edit and put 0. But don't do that.
There are some people that I've literally gotten 50 cents. Like, what's the point? 50 cents. Some people do 50 cents. So what's the point?
What kind of tip is that? I will be offended. Actually.
When I used to go deliver, I told him, but he said he didn't use it, but I thought I was it. So I will knock on your door and I'll wait for you to come and open the door and look at my face. So you can see like I'm so you're motivated to tip me more. Because if I just walk in, you'll be like, who's that rude guy? I just from my food. But you can see that I'm suffering, this guy is black. And I remember one time I delivered somewhere downtown. And the girl was like, so I did the same thing. I waited for him to come out and get his food from my hand and stuff. Like, oh my God, you guys are really doing us a lot of service that even for you, he doesn't know how you eat tonight. I'm like, this guy really likes me so well. I can't wait to see my teeth. I think he gave me $2 point something. I went in and felt that motivational point. Oh
my God.
Yeah.
No. Honestly, I mean, I'm honestly encouraged to tip a lot better now. I know I've not been the best.
I've not been the best at all.
Like, what's the highest tip you've gotten?
I don't know. I want to say maybe around $50 or something like that.
$50?
I think so.
That's like, oh my God. That's not kind of money, man.
I think so.
My whole career.
There's some. I feel like there's some restaurants you go to, like like once you go to these restaurants, because sometimes
like the quality of the person that is eating from this place and tip.
Yeah, and then because like you already know from the order also like how much the order is and everything. Sometimes people order, I don't know. Order crazy amount of food for dinner. You see, like somebody spending like $200 and something on dinner on food just like that, and I'm just like, because that's like grocery store for the month, right? And then you just see that, and it's like, wow, like people really have money. But like also another thing that I feel like now that I'm just recollecting on my experience. I remember at the time because I was really working a lot because I really wanted to make my fees and everything. But like sometimes like it gets lonely, or like you just get like maybe tired and everything. Maybe you see other people, like you are out there day and night hustling, but like you see other people around you, like they're having fun, maybe they're at the park, they're chilling. And sometimes maybe I just chill and I just look at all these guys that are really enjoying the environment, and I'm just like, I'm just here working my ass, working myself off, and it's just like, it's like, yeah, it was a lot. But I was able to persevere and everything, because and then also I'm just remembering now, also like one of my worst moments was during the winter period. It was very, very cold, and this was during COVID also, like I mentioned. So like, again, I said the good thing and bad thing. The good thing is that many orders, but then the bad thing is like there was like very strict policies and everything. So at the time, you were not allowed to use washrooms. So like all the restaurants would close the washrooms and everything. So you couldn't go. So if you really needed to like pee or something, like you couldn't do so in the restaurants. Like, so what do you do? Like, where do you go? So like it's like, it was like, those were like some of the challenges that I had to face. So it's like sometimes you're just like,
Did you ever cry?
did I ever cry? I cried, yes. I think there was one. Where did I cry? I feel like I did, probably. I think so. Bro. Yeah, because it was.
As I'm dressing.
I think so. As I get to go. I think so.
Give me your order.
I think so. Like that winter period was so hard. It was so cold one time. Like I literally had to. There was one time I had to be on like on Bloor, because like that's where the trains are on, like on that line, and I would just skip in from one station to the other as I deliver to a person. Like I would try to stay close to a station so I can easily go into a station to get warm, because it was so cold. So there was even one time I was like, it's so cold, I can't do this. I just had to go back home because it was like ridiculous. Like I remember there were times where I would go back home like late in the night after like delivering, like during the winter period, go back home like 1, 2 a.m. and I turn on the shower, and it feels like, you know, when your body's wet and then somebody carries a cane and they're like beating you. That is literally how it felt like, because like it was like maybe I had like frostbite or something, because like it was
even just my hands alone, when you're really cold and you put on that, it's so painful.
Yes. My whole body, and I was out for long periods. You're out for like there are times you're cycling, like you don't feel your legs any longer. You don't feel you just go, like you literally stop feeling like blood isn't going there any longer, but like you just keep, it's like me, I'm just going, just $1 more, just I just have to keep going, just one more, I'll go after this one, but like you just keep going, like you get another order, because like I remember, as I said, like it was very good at the time, because like you drop one, another one comes, and typically when the weather is bad like this, like the app goes crazy, like the app goes crazy. It's just like it's like a bug, like the app just goes crazy, and you're just making it, you're just like, this is money in your face. You cannot use the money to go. No. This is money in your face.
What did you wear? Like, especially in winter, I'm just wondering, like, do you have like 2 gloves?
Oh yeah.
Did you have like a jacket and like maybe like 5 layers of, like, how did you dress up for this?
I think I had like a fleece. I used to wear, like, when it was very cold, I had like a fleece jacket, and then I wear my regular winter jackets. Then I got these boots from. I got these very big boots, very big winter, like ice. I think they use it for ice fishing. Like I got it from some guy on Facebook. And I think I explained. I remember that guy. He was such a lovely guy. I explained to him why I was buying his shoes, and then he's like, you know what, bro, you need them more than I do. Like he gave it to me for free. It was supposed to be like $50 or something like that, but I was like, yeah, you respect the hustle and everything. That's fine. But like I was like, oh, people are so kind. Like it was just like, yeah, that was amazing. But like, yeah. I still have those boots too still, but like, yeah, that was, I wore those boots. I also got heated gloves also, because it was, you can't use regular gloves. I remember when I started, I had like one flimsy glove I got from Nigeria. I didn't do anything. I had to get like heated gloves, and
imagine.
So like that really helped.
Not walking around gloves in the winter. They're like construction worker gloves. They're so big. I can't even hold anything, so I can imagine.
Yeah, but yeah, long story short, like I was able to make like well over $17,000. I made like 26, 25, 26K. Cycling.
Come
Day
rain, come
and night,
shine.
come rain, come shine.
Oh
Come rain, come shine. For like 4 months.
This is so
And then that's what I was telling Gossin. That's what I was telling Gossin at the time. Like, oh, this one that you're doing, going to work in Walmart. What are you doing? See money in your face. Money in your face. You're saying, no, I want to go and work. Like, what are you talking about, son?
and he did it and it paid off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you get $50 tip shop.
But I made more on Uber Eats than I did at the grocery store.
You made more.
Yeah, per hour and overall
Wow.
than I did at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Guys, are you listening?
Yeah.
Like, in fact, I need to learn how to ride a bike. I'm going to teach me later.
Sure, why not?
Please.
Sure. But yeah. And I think it's just like talking about this just reminds me of the conversation I was having with one of my friends I played table tennis with. I was talking about how like some of the ideas that people have, like obviously like with Uber, like how Uber has really changed people's lives and everything. It's talking about how like the flexibility that it gives and everything. Like I'm super grateful. Like what if the person who decided to create the company didn't do so? Like what would have happened and everything. And you're talking about how like he knows other people who were able to like have a living like just working off with Uber, like paying their mortgages and stuff like that with that.
This is so inspiring. You are such a strong person. You are so resilient. And honestly, I'm inspired. I can't even.
Yeah.
I have no excuse.
Yeah, I feel like everything is,
because
everything is possible once you put your mind. Because like I just sat there and put my mind to it, and like you know what,
I just kept pushing.
I just kept pushing regardless of.
Great.
Yeah.
That is so inspiring. And I hope this encourages someone out there that is through that phase, like going through that phase. Sorry, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Okay, you've heard Ini's story. So just I guess bouncing off of that. Can you tell us like what you're doing now?
Okay.
Senior man now.
Senior man now.
So I work in a tech company now. I work in HR in a tech company. Specifically, I'm a people analyst in a tech company in HR right now. Yeah.
Love it. And that's obviously like your field and what you want to do.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And it's funny you like ask this question also because like I remember, like I made like during like the whole grind of doing Uber Eats. I remember maybe as you're going downtown or you're coming back home, you meet people like you see like familiar faces as you're going, and then like you kind of like make friends. I remember it's so funny. I was talking to I think Gotson, so like at the time when I was in Uber Eats, I had like in quotes I'm like an Uber mentor. This guy, I thought I was grinding. Apparently I wasn't. This guy showed me his app. If you see how much money this guy was making.
Did he have a car?
No, it was on like a bicycle too.
Really?
But like if you see how much this guy was making, he showed me because like him also was like a very he was very cautious of how he was using his money also. Like he had like 2 bags. He was like walking around the clock, maybe like 24 hours or something. He showed me he had like $50,000 or so. From Uber Eats in his World Simple account. He was invested in I think I forget the company was invested in, but like he showed me he put everything in a particular stock or something like that. I think an ETF. But when he showed me his app, I was just like, I'm just starting. I was like, oh my god! Like people were really going out. Like
you were in school. You also
I
had
was in school. Yeah. Because like I was only limited to 20 hours at the time. But that guy was like working full time. I was working 20 hours. But like I was like, do I really want to find a job at this point? Just continue doing this. But like,
I've actually spoken to. Sorry,
no, you're going fine.
I was going to say I've actually spoken to some Uber drivers, and they're like, "Oh, in my home country, I was in a corporate job, I was in accounting, but then when they moved here and they started Uber Eats, they found out they were making enough money, more than enough money to pay their bills. Some people have families, so they are literally feeding their children." Paying mortgages with Uber Eats. So Uber needs to wait. I think about giving them a lot of let's have a conversation. If you work in Uber or you know somebody that works at Uber, please tell them to call me because the free promo in this video.
Yeah, I think we need to bring up our referral code and
the link in the description box, please. Thank you guys so much for sharing.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
It was very lucrative, and I couldn't at the time see anything being better than it. I did projections. I was like, like if I finish school, I continue double down on this. I didn't realize how much will I make. I was like, a regular job. I didn't make a regular job would pay me this much.
Actually,
I thought about it
because he made what 20-something grand in 4 months.
Exactly.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Like regular jobs starting like 60 grand a year. And you're
Exactly.
doing something grand in just 4 months.
I was like, but like, yeah. I'm happy I wasn't able to, like, I didn't double down like I did, but I actually focused on like career and everything.
Continuing your career.
Because like it was seasonal. Like the reason why all of that happened was because we were in COVID season. Like everything just happened like for my good, I guess.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Like I came and everything, and this, like I needed that money and everything from school. Because like now, like I mentioned, like it's not as good as it was before. Like people are really like ordering as much and everything. Because like everybody's now outside. Because at the time everybody was inside, but like now, like so.
I was going to say like myself, I did cook. There's nobody for buys again.
Yeah, but yeah. And the funny thing is, like, I remember I saw like one of like someone that I used to see at the time very often. I saw him recently, like 2 years ago, and he was still doing Uber. I felt so sad at the time. I was like, oh my gosh, he wasn't able to find. I think he said he had tried, he wasn't able to find a job or something. I was like, it was so sad.
Yeah,
but
the job market is
hard.
It's really rough right
very
now.
rough.
Yeah.
That
that kind of leads me to my next question. Like, what advice do you guys have for anyone that's trying to find a job right now and is just struggling and frustrated with the job market?
Never be afraid to reach out to people. Like, shoot a message on LinkedIn. Like, you see what you're doing. You just want to get more information. Set up a coffee chat, and then you could just be at the verge of getting a job, like by doing such things. So,
and I also find, because I feel like people always say, oh, like try and build a relationship first. But I also find sometimes being direct self with what it is that you want. Like I say, oh yeah, I'm thinking about your experience, but I'm also actively like searching because there's no time. How many children do you have? What's your family background? Like, you can just be honest about where you are at and also show interest. Like it's 50-50, right? Do you have any other?
So I feel like I have a lot of experience in this job search in particular, because I told you I worked 2 years at H&M. 8 months of those 2 years I was looking for a job, for a full-time role. So I know the struggle. Like if anybody has cried their eyes out because of job search, it's me. And I know the job market right now. I know the job market right now is even worse than it was then. But I would say keep on improving yourself. So there's a phase everyone gets to, maybe like 2 or 3 months in, you're already tired. Like, oh, I'm tired of looking for jobs. I'm going to stop entirely. But I had that phase. I think at the middle of my job search, and someone told me something that really sat with me, and she was like that. Why would you stop? It's a numbers game. And that just made me wake up. Like, it's a numbers game. So the more you apply, the more chances you have of actually getting a job. Yeah. And as long as those 8 months my job, the job I have right now, literally I got in 2 weeks. So like, you never know which one is going to click. You never know. I trained my CV, like, I want to say more than 20-30 times. I did courses. I did like online LinkedIn courses. I did Coursera courses. I spoke to experts. I reached out to people on LinkedIn. I applied to over 200 jobs. Like, there's no stopping, like, oh, I'm just going to stop right now because I'm tired and I've done everything. No, you have to keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on reinventing yourself. Keep on saying, oh, what do I need to change about my interviewing skills? Like, know the point where if you're not getting interviews, like, then you need to change something about your CV. If you're getting interviews where you're not getting to the final stage, then is your interviewing skill. Keep on improving that and watching videos. There's so many resources online. And it's easy to say, but if you don't do that, there are people that are more qualified than you. Because I have a master's, but there are people that were PhD holders applying for the same jobs I did. So keep on like making sure that you're the best person that they're going to speak to. And by God's grace, there's also God as well. By God's grace, you get something definitely.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, also like Toronto, because we're in Toronto, like Toronto is very competitive. Like everybody is, almost everyone's here. Like it's like, typically very hard. Like, but yeah.
I've gone through that where you are literally opening your email every morning. I say thank you to you. As I open your eye, I also open your email to see maybe I finally got it. And it's just, oh, I'm sorry, but there was one time during my job search phase, I literally got like 2 different companies. I don't know whether they planned. See this girl. At the same time, rejection back to back, like it was like seconds apart. I'm like, I don't get, like I actually have to just laugh because I'm like, did you plan it? So yeah, I know it's not easy. Okay, over to you, Godson.
Just open yourself to other kinds of jobs. So for instance, if you did like a master's in finance, you don't have to narrow yourself down to finance job, especially if you've tried already for a while and it isn't working out. Just see what else is out there. It might not even be like what you think is your level. Like it can be an admin role. It can be any role. So far as corporate is white collar is an entry point. Just take it. And like people say, sometimes it's easier to get a second job than it is to get the first one. The first one is usually the hardest, getting your feet wet, getting your foot into the water, getting your leg into the door, etc. So just get there first, get in anyway, anyhow, and then see what happens from there. And then just trust God through the process. Get people. You really need people. In Nigeria, I didn't really need people, but here you really need people. You need people. You need people to motivate you, keep you accountable, inspire you, just in a way, distress you, like take up the stress off your mind. You have fun.
When you hear other people's stories, all that people are going through, I'm not alone.
It inspires you and the community and all of that. So, yeah. And I just wish everyone who is in that phase the best of luck.
Thank you guys so much. This episode has been so good. Like it's been amazing. And I've honestly left feeling very motivated. I'm sure everyone listening and watching. So yeah, I'm going to bring this episode to a close. Before you go, come back. Have you subscribed? Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Subscribe. This episode was too good, and we're going to have many more guests coming on, so you don't want to miss the next episode. Subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Make sure you like it, share it with your friends, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think about everything we discussed? Share your own job search experiences as well, especially if you relocated to a new country. How was it for you? Was it a struggle? What job did you do? That's just in the comment section, basically. And yeah, make sure you check this episode out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. So on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, it's Young and Abroad. On YouTube, it's on my YouTube channel, Everything Eniola. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.